What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another fresh commentary. Now guys, as we all know, Among Us isn't as big as it used to be. Truth is, people have been more interested in the VR version than the main game, which is crazy now. And it's all because the original game doesn't really push out much updates. Besides a few holiday updates, new game modes that take forever to release, and that's pretty much it. But hey, at least we get some new cosmetics every now and then. The battle pass, or the progression system I should say, is the only thing that's carrying the game right now. But what if I tell you there's a new Among Us? A new game similar to Among Us that every other player has been switching to. And that game is called Goose Goose Duck. Goose Goose Duck came out a little over a year ago on October 3rd, 2021. It's by a very small studio called Gaggle Studios, and their duck game tried to ride the wave of Among Us and leech off of the hype of the game. But like every other clone, it died out within a few weeks of launch, just like First Class Trouble. I made a video a while back claiming that this game was gonna overtake Among Us, and I was wrong. It died really fast despite every big streamer and content creator playing the game at the moment. But now the game hardly has any players. They even had to make it free on the Epic Game Store, which I think is a good move. I mean, now more people will play the game since what they have to lose. It's a free game. They're gonna want to try it out, and that's just gonna potentially make more players stay on the game. I just hope they make the game free on Steam and every other platform, because games like this don't really do well when they cost money. And also, rip to the people who actually spent $20+ on it when it first came out. Hope they get some sort of in-game reward as a thank you for spending money on the game before it became free. But anytime a new big game comes out, a small group of devs try to give their take on the genre to pull in some of their players to try out their game, basically just leech off of the success of that said game. And Goose Goose Duck is a prime example of that. Yet another Among Us clone that released during the glory days of the game. But the only difference is this game just overtook Among Us in numbers, at least in Asia. And it's all thanks to BTS, because recently there's been a massive spike in players on this game. Like, I'm talking 563,677 players. That's more than games like PUBG and Call of Duty and Apex are pulling. And it was the third most played game on all of Steam last Thursday, beating all of those previous titles I just mentioned, which is mad. Like, this game just rose up from the dead. V from BTS, or Kim Tae-hong, I hope I said his name right, sorry, don't kill me, but he started streaming Goose Goose Duck to fans on Weverse, which is basically like another live streaming platform, but mostly for specific artists like, of course, BTS and more. But when he streamed the game on this social media platform, it made every person watching on stream want to try out this game. So they went on ahead on Steam and downloaded it and played it themselves, and now it's facing some major success. What's crazy is he actually started streaming games like Among Us, Fall Guys, and Goose Goose Duck back in November, but for some reason this massive traffic just hit the game now in January, going from 6,000 concurrent players to 130,000 just in 1 month. Sort of the same thing that happened to Among Us 2 years ago back in 2020. I'm not sure what got him into the game. He was playing Among Us originally. He probably switched over to try something new like many of us have, because it's just like Among Us, but it's a nice refresher. And that's what's so great about these rip-off games. Most of the time when people cross over to them, they are just sick of the original, and then they try out this new inspired game, and sometimes we actually end up enjoying it far more than the original game, because it might do some things better or offer far more content. And that's probably why V from BTS decided to stream this game instead of Among Us, because he's sick of it. But he tried it out and started enjoying it way more, and now his fans are trying it out, and everyone is loving this game far more than Among Us. And that's just gonna get more and more people to want to try out the game. And as of right now, it's taking over Steam. Like, what a way to start off 2020. I've been looking around, and a lot of people are saying this growth is only happening in Asia, but that's not true. This influence is reaching as far as the US, where I am, because many Among Us players didn't even know about this game until now because of the massive growth, and are now giving it a chance. And believe it or not, there are actually a lot of BTS fans in the US too, and every other part of the world. So this game is just growing and growing, and right now it's beating Among Us's player size. It's triple than what they're pulling. I'm not sure how long this success is gonna last, but the way I see it right now, I don't think the game is going anywhere. The fact it's free to play gives it a huge advantage. If only it were available on other platforms besides Steam though, it would completely take over. I just hope the devs take advantage of this growth, really continue to push out updates and new content to keep their new players stay on the game for good. That's my best advice, because if they just sit by while the game continues to grow, it would just end up dying like every other game that blew up. I mean, they are aware of the growth though. They recently came out and said, "We appreciate all the love and support. We expected a large increase in players, but not like this. 250k increase of our already massive player base was too much. We're working on increasing capacity as fast as we can, and we'll keep everyone updated. We apologize for the inconvenience, and we're all working hard to make sure everyone can play." Which is great. Increasing server size is a good idea considering all the new people your game is pulling now. I'm just happy to see this game is doing well. I mean, back in the day when it first came out, I liked jumping over to it with friends after a few games of Among Us. At the time, it had some game modes that not even even Among Us had, like proximity chat, and that made the game far better. Honestly, I wish Among Us would add that already. I don't know why they haven't, but the way I see it, all they have is the VR version. Goose Duck is really killing Among Us. The only thing I find fun now that's Among Us related is the VR game, because that at least I can communicate with strangers. It's fun and funny at times. It's just far better than playing on open lobbies on the main game, which is super boring. So this duck game is really outperforming Among Us now. I say they should just focus on their VR title because they're really taking over the VR space with their new game. And Goose Duck is just becoming that #1 new social deduction game, because I don't think the success the game is facing right now is going to stop anytime soon. And this also goes to show that any game, no matter how dead it is or how old, can rise back up from the ashes if someone with a large enough community starts playing it again. Just crazy how that works now. I just hope someone does the same thing to the Darwin Project. That was my favorite battle royale, and now it's completely dead. I can't even find a game, and I really enjoyed that game. I hope it comes back. Completely out of topic, but I just wanted to talk about that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. The growth on Goose Duck really caught everyone off guard. After it first came out, everybody played it and got tired of it. Never expected it to make a comeback, but it did. Pretty much it. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay blue.